Hi, I'm on the handheld again, sorry. I just finished my workout. So that's like the fourth workout of this week. I did the first of the three workouts for this week. I was supposed to be doing it again, but I think somehow I ended up doing workout B twice because I'd never done this one before. So I'm glad I did a fourth one so that I didn't miss it. Um, Although glad might be a little bit of a strong word because it was leg day. So we did two kinds of squats, um, high knees, burpees, and hip raises. And I hate burpees with a deep passion, and I don't trust anyone that doesn't hate burpees. My husband did the workout with me, so that was nice. It's nice to have company, but I also like that we both take our glasses off so he's not like watching me because I look terrible. But yeah, so I did a fourth workout this week, which I'm really excited about. I want to at least, I always try to exceed expectations by like one set or whatever. So if I'm supposed to do a minimum of three, I want to do at least four every week. Today, I I try to have like a planned activity for my 2-year-old every day, just to kind of keep our days from floundering, as they have done in the past. So today's activity was I made ice cream with her. I made some fructose-free ice cream bases using just pureed fruit, like basically a smoothie. I just took a bunch of smoothie fruit that I already had in the freezer, and I blended them up in the blender with her. And then I made a custard base. So I heated up half and half, and then I tempered the smoothie into some egg yolks, and then I tempered the hot milk into the egg yolks, and then I poured all of the smoothie and egg yolk into the milk and whisked over heat until it made a smooth custard. But I've never used the ice cream maker that I have, so I didn't know that I had to like pre-freeze the little canister, which is still less messy for cleanup, so I understand why it would be appealing to some, but I thought that it was more like automatic, so I'm a little bummed because I can only make like a quart of ice cream at a time, and I made like a whole lot of ice cream base because I figured I could just do all of the like cooking today and then just put it in the freezer and have it when we wanted it. And I think I made like a gallon of ice cream base today because I had half a gallon of half and half, and then it was about equal parts half and half and smoothie. I made two flavors. I made one with a superfood blend that had blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, kale, and spinach. And then I added mango and banana because I think mango is it has like a great balance, and then banana adds a little bit of sweetness and starchiness, which I think is really important because one of the big risks you run when you're just adding straight fruit to milk is with no sugar to like stabilize the milk, is that the acid in the fruit can curdle the milk, or break the custard. And so I felt like if I added banana or mango or both, that the starchiness and the little extra sugar in those particular fruits would keep the base stable, and it worked. So I was right. But I did add the smoothie base to the yolks first, and then I tempered the milk into the yolks so that the milk could kind of get used to the acid and the yolks could get used to the heat of the milk, and everything just kind of got used to each other before I was combining them all in the big pot. And then I cooled them over an ice bath, as one does. And then I also mixed up a frozen yogurt base. Again, all of this before I realized that I could only freeze a quart at a time. I would not have done that, but that's okay. Like, it'll keep long enough for me to get it frozen. I have room in my fridge at least. But I made so the second ice cream base was a smoothie made from strawberries, raspberries, and mango, uh, with a splash of orange juice, um, and a squeeze of lemon. And I made an ice cream base with most of it, but I also strained some of it, um, and made a frozen yogurt. Or yogurt base. So I took unsweetened Indian yogurt and added the smoothie to that. And then with the strawberry, or the, like, it was less of a just smoothie blend. It was like strawberries, raspberries, and mango only. So I guess I'd call that like a tropical one. For that ice cream base, I ended up straining the ice cream base after I cooked it, so that there would be no seeds in it, just so it'd be a little bit more like a smooth, creamy ice cream flavor. Oh, I did add vanilla to both ice cream bases as well, because I don't think you can go wrong adding vanilla to anything. And I do think that it kind of makes it have more of a confection flavor as opposed to like a smoothie. I did not add vanilla to the frozen yogurt base though, because I didn't heat that up. And I just didn't, So I would like to, and I have the ingredients, so eventually, like after I've gotten the rest of them frozen, I would like to do a frozen yogurt base with banana, mango, peanut butter, and cocoa, and see how that would turn out. I will probably use Greek yogurt for that because I have some Greek yogurt, and I am also a little bit curious to see, like, when I freeze it, what the difference is in the texture, consistency, etc. between the Indian yogurt and the Greek yogurt, because I prefer Indian yogurt just like eating yogurt, because it's smoother and less chalky than Greek yogurt. I don't if you've ever tried both. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. But if you've never tried both, I highly encourage you to find an Indian grocery store, or Costco has it right now, and get yourself some Indian yogurt, because it is an elevated experience. Greek yogurt is so overrated. Like, it's good, but it's not good once you've had Indian yogurt. But I went ahead and got some Greek yogurt just because I was curious if it might freeze better or something. So eventually I'd like to make that yogurt base as well, but for now I made the other three, and that's like a gallon and probably about a gallon and a half of ice cream base. And then of course once it freezes, it'll fluff up a little bit, so it'll actually have more than a gallon. And it's interesting because one of the things that they can tell, like, the quality of an ice cream is how much more volume you get once it's frozen. So like a really, really high quality ice cream, your final volume will be maybe 110% of the original base volume, which means that it has a lot of fat content in it, because the more water content you have in the base, the bigger volume you're going to get, because ice expands when it's frozen and fat doesn't. And so that's like the basic of it. So most likely, because I used half and half and not like whole cream, and I used a bunch of fruit puree, mine is going to have probably 150% volume, because it's going to be pretty watery, but like, that's okay. I'm not trying to make the highest quality ice cream ever. I'm experimenting right now with something for me to eat when my family is enjoying like real sugar ice cream, like when they go to Andy's Custard or something like that. I'm just trying to make something that I can enjoy with them. And honestly, it's funny because I keep thinking of it like, I'm not going to force my family to go on this diet with me, whatever. But like, if I can get my daughters to like this kind of ice cream that's like homemade and fructose free, all the better, right? Like, I'm not going to be one of those parents that like doesn't allow sugar in the house and it's evil, because like, I feel like that kind of thing will lead my daughters to potentially like, sorry, there was a funny sound, will potentially feel like sugar is like like a rebellion, and it'll be more tempting, and they'll be more inclined to overindulge when they're older, when they like have access to it. So I'm not going to restrict their access to sugar. And certainly if they're at like a birthday party or something like that, like if they want to have a slice of birthday cake, they're welcome to it. But if I can give them a taste for the like healthier alternatives that I'm making for myself, they're more likely to eat it anyway, just because they want to be like mommy right now, like when they're younger. And maybe when they try the other ice cream, they'll be like, oh, that's too sweet. I like the stuff that we eat at home. You know, who knows, if you start them this young, what could happen. But it would be cool if I could prevent in them, just through gentle, um, what's that word, modeling, through gentle modeling, if I could just sort of show them that you can still enjoy the same things everyone else is enjoying, without the fructose in my case. And that's part of also why I chose to use half and half instead of heavy cream. I could have made it a decadent and indulgent ice cream that probably would be as good as, if not better than, most people's, Bluebell or whatever, because of the fat content. Because, you make anything rich enough and you put the tiniest bit of sweetness in it, which you get from the fruit, it's going to be delicious. But I'm curious if I can go with a lower fat content as well. I saw, I'm really confused by, I've always been confused by fat-free half and half, because half and half is supposed, like, the half is cream, like heavy cream, and half is whole milk. So it should be like 6% fat by volume or something like that. I don't know how you do fat-free half and half. I assume that it's just sort of a branding thing, like people are used to seeing half and half for like coffee creamer, and so it's a fat-free coffee creamer that's been artificially thickened. But some of my, like, probably with soy lecithin, that's usually like everybody's favorite thickener, and like emulsifier. But I did look at the back of a box of the fat-free half and half, and sure enough, like, the third ingredient is corn syrup. So it is also sweetened, which is interesting. So I'm gonna stick with the real stuff and just eat less of it. And like, I'm not officially cutting back fat, but I have to say, when sugar's off the table, I do find myself generally eating less. I ate a pretty big lunch today, but I had a small breakfast and a very small dinner by my usual standard. Oh, and that's the other thing. I also took the remainder of the cookie doughs that I made the other day, and I thawed them out, and I put them back in the mixer, and I added applesauce, about a cup of applesauce to each one. A little less than a cup. Probably like 2/3 of a cup of applesauce to each one. And I just mixed it up. That's all I did. That was all I changed. And they turned out fabulous. They are so good. I ate 2 of the chocolate and 1 oatmeal because I did have such a small dinner. And really, these are not really bad for you cookies. They're not very sweet. The applesauce adds just enough sweetness to kind of like balance them better, but they're still pretty low sweetness. So they're actually pretty low sugar, and then they're also not any fructose or refined sugar, and then they're made with peanut butter instead of butter, so they're basically like little protein bars. So I did have 3 cookies, and I don't even feel bad. And they're delicious with milk. My husband had 1 of each, and he, like, after, like, while he was eating them, he was like, I've written 1 book before. I'm a published author, and he was like, I've never seen anything about a fructose-free diet, and he was like, maybe you should start writing a book of recipes, like, as you do this, because if it works, I feel like this could take off, and these recipes are really good. And I do have to say, I'm not sure that I've seen very many people introducing a diet, like, I guess I should say, I can't think of very many diet books written by foodies. usually they're written by either like formerly fat people who discover the like beauty of nutrition and good for them, and honestly good for them. But that's usually like when I've read books about diets or started diets or whatever, it's usually like a nutritionist or like a formerly heavy person, or like a personal trainer or like a doctor. And it's like, honestly, there's like, if I'm trying to lose weight or if I'm trying to live healthier, odds are I already like food a lot. And that is why I need to get healthier or lose weight. So it would make sense to me that a diet, um, a diet book, I should say, written at least in large part by someone who can formulate, like a pastry chef who can formulate recipes for a healthier eating, um, and really know like whether it's actually a good recipe, and like know, like, kind of like all this experimentation that I'm doing. It is a little bit of like a uncharted territory. So I am going to start writing down my recipes and maybe just start like my book writing process and see if this, if I have some worthwhile results, in a year's time, I might actually think about writing a book about my fructose free foodie lifestyle. Um, and if I do, I think I would get like a nutritionist or a doctor or someone to consult in the writing of the book so that it does have the professional perspective on nutrition and health and stuff. But I honestly, I have a couple of, like one of my best friends is a doctor, and I've been, running it all by her, and she says that so far all of what I'm doing tracks with what she knows medically. And I'm pretty sure my OBGYN I have a good relationship with, like I have a personal relationship with them outside of there being my OBGYN, but I have a feeling that if I go in pregnant again in like a year's time and I'm way lighter and I tell them what I've been doing, they'll probably be willing to consult as well. So anyway, that's a lot of thoughts for a silly little update. I did weigh myself this morning and I was let's see, I was 250.8. Yeah, so still on track. Although I did look on my MyFitnessPal again, and I didn't realize that at some point my highest weight was actually 257.8. So technically I'm down 7 pounds, but I thought I was only down like 4 pounds. Either way, I'm down. That's what matters. And yeah, so I will catch y'all later, and maybe I'll do a cooking video soon. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, because I only have a few subscribers.